Hello students. So we'll begin with our new chapter, heat, after first term examination. Now we have entered into the second term of our class 9 syllabus, and in this first I'll take up the chapter heat. In this chapter we'll study about the basic of heat. The heat is a form of energy, how we can measure heat, what are the different units involved in measurement of heats, and some other things also. See, first we'll see what is heat. So heat is a form of energy which flows from hot body to cold body. Heat will always flow from hot body to cold body automatically. Okay. Okay. So what is actually how the heat is provided? How the heat comes? See, the answer is very simple. That whatever is the sum of the kinetic and potential energy, which is also known as internal energy, and that depends upon the temperature of the gas. That is the actually the heat content of any body. That is the heat content of any body. The total energy possessed by thermodynamic system, a gas, is the sum of kinetic and potential energy called internal energy, and basically it depends upon the temperature of the system. The heat possessed by the body depends upon the temperature of the system. Okay, so this is now unit, very important. See, the SI system, if you go for SI system, the unit of any kind of energy is joule. Any whatsoever kind of energy it is, the SI system unit is always joule, and CGS system is always earth. Okay, but addition to SI systems and CGS system, we are having some other units. Especially for heat, we use calorie and kilocalories. There are some units which are specific to the quantity. So calorie and kilocalories. See here, 1 calorie is equal to 4.186 joule, which is approximately equal to 4.2 joule. Which is a relation between calorie and joule, a very important relation for your numericals. 1 calorie is equal to 4.2 joules. Similarly, 1 kilocalorie. 1 kilo means 1000. So 1 kilocalorie is 1000 calories. Very simple. 1 kilocalorie is equal to 1000 calories. The unit of heat. If someone asks you unit of heat, then you can say calorie. But if SI unit of heat is SI unit of heat energy, then the answer must be joule. You cannot say calorie. Next, we are having temperature. So, what is temperature? Temperature is a degree of hotness or coldness of a body. A body is how much hot or how much cold. How we define by saying the temperature of the body. Okay. And what is the role of temperature? It decides the direction of flow of heat. Why? Because the heat will flow from high temperature to low temperature. Okay. So if we place in contact two bodies, one of which is hot and other is cold, then the hot body and cold body, the heat transfer will start, and the heat will transfer from hot body to the cold body until both the body are at same temperature. It means temperature will decide the direction of flow of heat, and if there is no temperature difference, then there will be no transfer of heat. No transfer of heat of the two bodies which are at the same temperature. Okay. Now, what is the unit of temperature? The SI, again I will talk about the SI unit first. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. There are some other units also which we frequently use, even more frequently than Kelvin. One is Fahrenheit, F, and there is degree Celsius, degree centigrade. Okay, these are the two other units which are more likely to be used by us in our daily lives. That is Fahrenheit and degree Celsius. Now see here, relation between different types of unit. We are having different units of temperature. So what is the relation? The relation is C upon F is equal to F minus 32 upon 9 is equal to K minus 273 upon 5. What is this? This is the relation between degree centigrade, Fahrenheit and Kelvin. This is the relation between degree centigrade, Fahrenheit and Kelvin temperatures. These are the relation between the three. Okay. So if we need to convert the value of temperature from one unit to another unit, we'll use this formula. Whatsoever we have to convert, we'll use that particular Suppose I need to convert from centigrade to Kelvin. So I will use C upon 5 is equal to K minus 273 upon 5 and I'll convert. If I want to convert from Fahrenheit to Kelvin, I'll just use F minus 35 upon 9 is equal to K minus 273 upon 5. In this manner, we can convert the temperature of unit. Sorry, not temperature, units of temperature. Next, we are having the difference between heat and temperature. Heat and temperature, the students are oftenly confused. They think they are same. No, they are very, very different because heat is energy, temperature is a degree of hotness or coldness. The unit of temperature is Kelvin, the unit of temperature heat is Joule. It depends upon mass, temperature, and nature. It depends upon average kinetic energy of its molecule due to random motion. It is measurable quantity, it is calculated quantity, and there are many differences. So these differences are to be prepared by you because they are very important for your examination. Okay, so you keep these differences in mind, at least three. Okay, now three. Now thermal expansion. See, thermal means heat, expansion means the increase in size. Okay, expansion. Okay, so what is thermal expansion? The expansion of matter on heating is called thermal expansion. If we heat something, we are aware of this fact that if we heat something, then it starts expanding. Okay, so that is known as thermal expansion. The expansion can be in the terms of length, area, volume. They are all linear expansion. If it is in the terms of length, it is known as linear. If it is in the terms of area, it is known as superficial. And if it is in the terms of volume, it is known as volume expansion or cubical expansion. See, it is given mentioned here. Linear expansion, superficial, or volume. Volume is also known as cubic. Okay. Now, liquids and gases do not have a definite shape, so these have only cubical expansion. We cannot find out the expansion, linear expansion, or superficial. For what? For liquids and gases. Need to keep this in mind. Okay. Now, what happens that if we heat anything, then it is generally to show expansion. Generally to show expansion. And if we cool something, if we decrease the temperature of something, then it is going to show contraction. Okay. But we are going to see here the anomalous expansion of water. What is anomalous expansion of water? Means the water is not showing the normal behavior. Water is not under the normal behavior of expansion. Why it is not under the normal behavior of expansion? See, when the water is heated from 0 degree to 4 degree, okay, if, and we know that if we will heat something, it will start expanding. So when the water is heated from 0 to 4, it starts contracting, means its volume decreases, which is not a normal behavior. Okay, so from 0 to 4, it will decrease its volume, it will start contracting. What will happen at 4 degrees centigrade? It will become at a minimum volume. It will come at a minimum volume. From 0 it will start decreasing, decrease till 4 degree it will decrease. But if we heat beyond 4 degree, then it will start expanding. Okay, if we heat beyond 4 degree, then it will start expanding. Now this is known as anomalous expansion of water. Okay, means water is not showing the normal behavior, it is expanding on heating. Okay, it is contracting, sorry, it is contracting on heating between the range of 0 degree to 4 degree centigrade. And this is due to this reason that density is maximum as 4 degree. Why? Because volume is minimum at 4 degree. Okay, so at 4 degree the volume is minimum, it starts contracting, and hence the density is maximum at 4 degree centigrade. The density which we are aware of water, that is 1 gram per centimeter cube, is at 4 degree centigrade only. Now see, I have taken two examples, two consequences of anomalous expansion. See, water pipeline burst during very cold season. See, when the temperature falls below 4 degrees centigrade, then the water in the pipeline will expand. Why? Because it is showing the anomalous behavior. And if it will expand, then the pressure is exerted on the pipe, due to which the pipe can burst. Okay, it is a very common experience, we can say this. Second, crops destroy during very cold nights in winter. See, when there are very cold nights during the winter season, then the plants die as their capillaries burst. What are the capillary means? Their capillaries, you are much aware of that in biology. You study this, that through this the water is transported to each part of the plant. Now, when the temperature falls, the water present in these capillaries will start expanding due to the anomalous behavior of water, and it will expand. It will create pressure on the capillaries, and as a result, the capillary will burst. As a result, the capillaries will burst, and the crops will be destroyed. Okay. Now we are having a very common and general topic, that is greenhouse effect and global warming. Now this is the part of your syllabus. Uh, you are you have studied this greenhouse effect and global warming even in chemistry also, I think, and in geography in AVS. This is a very common topic which is present in many different subjects. So we'll have a brief idea about this. See, uh, Earth is receiving the radiations from the sun. Radiation means heat radiations. Now, these radiations are absorbed by the objects on the Earth. They are absorbed by the Earth and the other objects, and the object become warm. And this is a process during the daytime. What happens after the sunset? These all objects which have absorbed the heat radiation, it starts emitting, it starts radiating the heat back. But now the form of radiation they produce, that is having comparatively longer wavelength. Now the wavelength has become longer as they radiate back. Now these radiation are now reflected back by the clouds, and some parts is absorbed by the greenhouse gases like CO2, water vapor, and methane, chlorofluorocarbon present in the atmosphere. What happens when these objects after the sunset starts emitting out the heat radiations in the form of the infrared radiation of longer wavelength, and these radiations are reflected by the clouds, or they are absorbed by the greenhouse gases which are present in our atmosphere. Thus, what happens? The more amount of heat is absorbed day by day, but the amount of heat emitted back, lost back into the atmosphere, is not that much. The heat is absorbed by the different gases present, heat is reflected by the clouds. And what happens? Due to this, the temperature of the Earth's surface, of the Earth's atmosphere, starts increasing. Why? See here, it is written, clouds and greenhouse gases prevent a large fraction of radiation given out by a surface from being escaped into the space. It does not permit the larger fraction to go back. Hence, what happens? This phenomena is called greenhouse effect. And what is the result of greenhouse effect? Global warming. It starts warming the temperature of Earth. The average temperature of the Earth atmosphere starts rising. See, there are some future projections which are being estimated, that the deforestation, burning of fuels, pollution by factories, these are some activities which are increasing the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. The increase in population, due to which the huge amount of CO2 is released, imbalance of CO2 cycles. Apart from our activities, rice cultivation, animal husbandry, natural gas explosion, burning of biomass, etc. These all are the activities which are giving gain in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and hence the greenhouse effect. And the effect, and what is the greenhouse effect? This is the cause of global warming. The result of greenhouse effect is global warming. So we need to put a stop, we need to put a check on these activities so that we can prevent the greenhouse gases to being released into the atmosphere to prevent global warming. Okay, students, you go through all these topics. You can take the help of your textbook, along with you can listen this video carefully, clear your concepts. In the next session, I'll discuss some questions also. Okay, this part of greenhouse effect and the global warming is also in your syllabus. You can read this from your book. In the next video, I'll also give you some text about the global warming and its preventive measures. For any problems, you can contact me as shown here. My number is available here. You can contact me for any of your queries. Thank you.